Words can be deceiving, fleeting, and easily manipulated. But actions, they are the purest form of truth. When someone genuinely feels deeply, they don't need to announce it for the world to hear. Instead, they show it through their everyday behavior. It's in the consistency of those small, seemingly insignificant acts, things that often go unnoticed if you're not paying attention. Think about it. Promises are easy to make but harder to keep. Anyone can say, "I'll always be there for you," but only actions can prove the weight behind those words. It's in the late night call when you're struggling, or the quiet gesture of showing up when you didn't even ask. These moments hold a kind of authenticity that words alone could never achieve. There's a certain kind of power in the quiet way someone shows they care. It could be as simple as remembering your favorite coffee order or noticing when you've had a tough day. These aren't grand, attention-seeking gestures. They are the quiet, thoughtful acts that demonstrate understanding and attentiveness. They whisper, "I see you, I know you." Actions also reveal a level of intentionality. When someone chooses to invest their time and effort into you without being prompted, it's a sign of genuine affection. Time is precious. And when someone consistently makes time for you, prioritizes you, and follows through on what they say, it speaks volumes about how much you mean to them. Often it's not about what someone does when things are easy, it's how they act during challenging moments. Are they reliable when life gets messy? Do they step up when you need support, or do they fade into the background? How someone behaves when things aren't perfect shows the depth of their feelings far more than any poetic declaration ever could. Actions also carry a sense of vulnerability. Expressing care through deeds rather than words requires stepping outside of one's comfort zone. It might mean driving across town late at night, going out of their way to make sure you're safe, or doing something they wouldn't normally do just to make you smile. These actions, though small, are deeply revealing. Over time, actions build trust. They create a pattern, a rhythm that becomes undeniable. When someone repeatedly shows up for you, supports you, and invests in your happiness, it's impossible to ignore. It creates a foundation, a quiet confidence that you can rely on them no matter what. What's remarkable about actions is their permanence. Words can be forgotten or brushed aside, but the way someone makes you feel through their actions leaves an indelible mark. Those moments when they were there without being asked, without making it a big deal, those are the moments you remember, the moments that define how much they truly care. There's a kind of comfort that comes from knowing someone is always there, not just in the loud, dramatic moments, but in the quiet, unspoken ones too. This unwavering presence is not about being physically near all the time, but about an emotional steadfastness that makes you feel supported even when they're not in the room. It's the kind of presence that feels like a steady anchor in the ever-changing tides of life. When someone has an unwavering presence, you'll notice they don't flinch at the first sign of difficulty. They aren't the kind of person who runs away when things get tough. Instead, they stay often in silence, offering their strength and calm without needing to make it about themselves. This kind of presence is rare, but it speaks louder than any grand gesture ever could. You might not even notice it at first because it isn't flashy or attention-seeking. It's in the way they respond to your needs without you having to spell them out. It's in the quiet text that checks in on you when they sense you're not okay, or the way they make space for you to talk, vent, or just be without any judgment. An unwavering presence also shows itself in consistency. They don't show up when it's convenient or when it benefits them. They are there no matter what. It's the way they make time for you even during their busiest days, or remember the things that matter to you when you thought no one else noticed. It's the reliability that becomes a quiet but profound reassurance. This presence is often felt most strongly during the moments you least expect it. Maybe it's when you're feeling your lowest and they somehow know exactly what to say or not say to make things feel manageable again. Or perhaps it's in their ability to just sit with you in your sadness, not trying to fix it, but simply being there so you don't have to face it alone. An unwavering presence doesn't demand attention. It's subtle but deeply impactful. It's in the sacrifices they make without drawing attention to them, like rearranging their schedule to help you out or showing up to support you in moments that matter to you, even if they have no stake in it themselves. What makes this kind of presence so powerful is its selflessness. It's not about ego or trying to gain something in return. They're not keeping score or expecting you to match their efforts. Their presence comes from a place of genuine care, a desire to make your life better or easier simply because they want to. Over time, this presence becomes something you rely on, often without realizing it. It's the way you feel a little lighter knowing they're in your corner, or the way your mind instinctively turns to them in moments of joy or struggle. It's not something you can put into words easily, but you feel it in the quiet strength they bring to your life every day. The eyes are often called the windows to the soul, and for good reason. They hold emotions that words cannot fully express. When someone's eyes linger a moment longer, soften when they look at you, or light up at your presence, it reveals a depth of feeling that goes beyond the surface. It's in those fleeting glances and unspoken looks that their true emotions shine through, often without them even realizing it. There's a unique intimacy in the way eyes communicate. They can convey warmth, admiration, or even longing without a single word being spoken. Sometimes it's a stolen glance across the room, a quiet moment when your eyes meet, and you just know there's more being said in that instant than words ever could. It's subtle yet powerful, like a secret language only the two of you share. When someone is quietly in love, their eyes often betray them. Even if they're careful with their words, the way they look at you says it all. It's the way their gaze softens when you're talking, the way they focus intently on you as though nothing else in the world matters in that moment. It's as if their eyes are trying to memorize every detail of your face, every nuance of your expression. The eyes also reveal vulnerability. When someone looks at you with unguarded sincerity, you can see past their exterior into the truth of their emotions. There's a rawness to it, a kind of openness that can't be faked. It's in those moments when their eyes hold yours a second too long, when they seem to struggle between hiding their feelings and letting them be seen. Beyond admiration, eyes also show care and concern. It's in the way they watch you closely when you're upset or distracted, as though they're trying to figure out how to help. Even without saying anything, their eyes carry a kind of quiet reassurance, a silent promise that they're there for you. These are the moments that build trust and connection without the need for words. There's also a spark in their gaze when they see you. It might be subtle, but it's unmistakable. Whether it's a glimmer of excitement when you walk into a room, or the way their eyes light up when you laugh, it's a reflection of the joy you bring to their life. That spark is impossible to fake, and it's often one of the clearest signs of unspoken affection. Sometimes the eyes reveal emotions even before the person is ready to admit them. They might look at you with a mix of admiration and hesitation, as though their feelings are spilling over, but they're not yet ready to say the words. It's in the way their gaze softens when they think you're not looking, those unguarded moments that tell a story of their own. Over time, you start to notice the patterns in their gaze. You recognize the way their eyes search for you in a crowded room, the way they light up at your smile, or the way they linger just a little too long when you're near. It becomes a quiet, constant presence, a subtle but undeniable reminder of the feelings they might not yet have the courage to voice. Acts of consideration are often the quietest yet most profound expressions of care. They are the gestures that require no prompting, no grand declaration, and no expectation of recognition. These small, thoughtful actions reveal a level of attentiveness that goes beyond mere politeness. They show that someone is not only thinking of you, but is deeply invested in your well-being and happiness. Consideration is often found in the little things. It's in the way someone remembers your favorite drink and surprises you with it on a tough day, or how they take the time to check in on you after an important event. These gestures may seem minor, but they carry significant weight because they show that someone is paying attention to the details of your life and genuinely wants to make it better. When someone goes out of their way to make your day easier, it speaks volumes about how much they care. It could be as simple as offering to run an errand for you when you're overwhelmed, or stepping in to help with a task without you even asking. These actions aren't about obligation, they stem from a desire to be there for you in ways that matter. Thoughtful consideration also shows in how someone respects your time and boundaries. They'll rearrange their schedule to accommodate you, but not in a way that feels burdensome or forced. Instead, it's done with ease, as though your needs naturally take priority in their life. This kind of effort reflects a deep understanding of and respect for your worth. There's also an emotional layer to acts of consideration. It's in the way someone listens carefully to what you say, not just hearing your words, but understanding the feelings behind them. They'll remember the things that matter most to you, your goals, fears, and aspirations, and find ways to support and encourage you without being asked. Sometimes acts of consideration are about anticipating needs before they're even spoken. It's noticing when you're tired and making sure you have what you need to rest. It's picking up on the small cues that you're stressed and finding a way to ease the burden without making it about themselves. These moments show a deep level of emotional intelligence and care. Consideration often reveals itself in the sacrifices someone is willing to make for your happiness. Whether it's giving up their comfort to ensure yours or adjusting their plans to accommodate yours, these choices show that they prioritize your needs alongside their own. These sacrifices are rarely loud or dramatic. Instead, they are quiet, consistent, and deeply meaningful. Over time, these acts of consideration create a foundation of trust and security. You begin to feel not only cared for, but truly seen and valued. It's not about grand, sweeping gestures, but about the steady accumulation of small moments that collectively speak to the depth of someone's feelings and their genuine desire to make your life better in every way they can. Emotional investment is more than just caring about someone. It's about being deeply connected to their thoughts, feelings, and experiences. It means actively engaging with their joys, fears, and aspirations, treating their emotions as though they're just as important as your own. This kind of connection doesn't come lightly. It requires genuine effort, empathy, and an unwavering commitment to understanding and supporting the other person. One of the clearest signs of emotional investment is the willingness to listen, not just to hear words, but to truly understand what's being said. It's about paying attention to the tone, the pauses, and the emotions behind the words. This type of listening creates a safe space where someone feels valued and understood, which strengthens the bond between two people. Emotional investment is also evident in how someone celebrates your victories, no matter how small they may seem. They take joy in your successes as if they were their own, and they show pride in your accomplishments without jealousy or competition. This reflects a deep commitment to your happiness and a desire to see you thrive. It's not just about celebrating the good moments. Emotional investment also shows up in how someone supports you during difficult times. They don't shy away from your pain or discomfort, but instead stand beside you, offering strength and understanding. They're willing to sit with you in silence, hold space for your feelings, and provide comfort without trying to fix everything immediately. Emotional investment often involves remembering the little things that matter to you. Whether it's recalling your favorite childhood story, the details of an important conversation you had weeks ago, or the way you like your coffee, these small acts of attentiveness demonstrate that someone values not only your presence, but also the nuances that make you who you are. Vulnerability is another key aspect of emotional investment. When someone feels deeply connected to you, they're willing to open up about their own fears, dreams, and insecurities. This exchange of vulnerability creates a sense of mutual trust and intimacy, reinforcing the bond that emotional investment brings. People who are emotionally invested often show a deep sense of concern for your future. They'll encourage your ambitions, offer advice when needed, and genuinely care about the choices you make. This kind of involvement doesn't come from a place of control, but from a genuine desire to see you achieve your goals and live a fulfilling life. Over time, emotional investment becomes a constant presence in your relationship with someone. It's in the way they prioritize your emotional well-being, make sacrifices for your happiness, and continuously show up for you, not because they have to, but because they want to. These actions reflect a level of care and connection that words alone could never capture. There's a delicate balance in being defensive yet supportive, a dynamic that shows someone's deep care and investment in your well-being. When someone is defensive, it often comes from a place of protection and instinct to shield you from harm or negativity. However, when paired with support, this defensiveness evolves into a healthy and constructive form of care, where they encourage your growth while safeguarding your peace. Defensiveness can show itself in subtle ways. It might be in the way someone stands up for you when they sense you're being treated unfairly, whether by others or even by yourself. If they see you doubting your worth or speaking negatively about yourself, they'll push back, reminding you of your value and helping you see yourself through their eyes. This defensiveness doesn't mean they try to control or restrict you. Instead, it's about being protective in a way that empowers you. For instance, they might point out potential risks in a situation but leave the final decision in your hands, trusting you to make the best choice for yourself. This balance of concern and respect shows their unwavering trust in your capabilities. Support comes in how they consistently encourage you to pursue your dreams even when challenges arise. They'll celebrate your courage and remind you of your strengths, acting as a steady source of reassurance. Their support isn't passive, it's active and thoughtful, often taking the form of actions that directly contribute to your success or comfort. Being defensive yet supportive also means they're willing to confront others on your behalf when necessary. If someone criticizes or undermines you, they won't hesitate to step in and defend your character. However, they'll do this in a way that doesn't escalate conflict, but rather reinforces your dignity and boundaries. At times, their defensiveness may even extend to protecting you from situations that they feel could drain or harm you emotionally. They might gently suggest you reconsider certain relationships or commitments if they see they're causing you pain. This isn't about overstepping boundaries, but about being attuned to your emotional needs and offering guidance that prioritizes your well-being. Their support also shines in how they respect your independence. Even as they act defensively to protect you, they don't overshadow your ability to stand on your own. They'll cheer you on from the sidelines, knowing when to step back and when to step in, always aligning their actions with what you need rather than imposing their own agenda. Over time, this balance of defensiveness and support creates a foundation of trust. You begin to feel not only protected, but also deeply encouraged to explore your potential. Their actions show that they're not just shielding you from harm, but also helping you build the strength and confidence to face challenges head-on. Jealousy is a natural human emotion, but when it's rooted in care rather than control, it takes on a different form. It's not about possessiveness or dominance, but rather about the fear of losing something deeply valued. This type of jealousy is quiet and introspective, often kept in check to ensure it doesn't overshadow the trust and respect that form the foundation of any healthy relationship. Jealousy without control often manifests in subtle ways. It might be in the way someone's mood shifts slightly when they feel a bit left out or unsure of their place in your life. They won't act out or demand attention, but their emotions may quietly betray how much they care. It's not about trying to limit you, but about their desire to remain significant in your world. This kind of jealousy doesn't come with ultimatums or restrictions. Instead, it reveals itself in their longing to be closer to you, to understand and connect with you on a deeper level. They don't try to control your actions or relationships. They simply hope to feel reassured that their presence in your life matters just as much to you as yours does to them. Often, jealousy without control is paired with self-awareness. They recognize their feelings and work to manage them internally rather than projecting them onto you. It's an internal dialogue of balancing their insecurities with their understanding of your independence and freedom. This kind of restraint shows a maturity that prioritizes the relationship over personal fears. Sometimes this jealousy may lead to quiet acts of self-improvement. Feeling a little insecure, they might strive to be a better partner, friend, or confidant, not out of competition, but as a way to feel more deserving of your time and attention. It's a constructive response to jealousy, turning their feelings into motivation rather than conflict. Jealousy without control also comes with a sense of respect. They understand that your life extends beyond your relationship with them, and they don't seek to limit your experiences or connections. Instead of trying to isolate you, they find ways to support your independence while quietly navigating their emotions. Communication plays a key role in managing these feelings. While they may not always express their jealousy directly, they're likely to share their emotions in a calm and open manner when it feels appropriate. This honesty fosters trust and ensures that jealousy doesn't turn into resentment or misunderstanding. Over time, their ability to handle jealousy without control becomes an unspoken testament to their care for you. It's in the way they navigate their fears while allowing you to thrive in your individuality. Their restraint and understanding reflect a love rooted in trust, respect, and a genuine desire to see you happy. Unspoken comfort. Unspoken comfort is a rare and profound connection where words are unnecessary and yet everything is understood. It's the quiet reassurance that comes from someone's presence, the way their energy soothes your mind and calms your heart without them needing to do or say anything. This kind of comfort is built on trust, mutual understanding, and a bond that transcends verbal communication. This comfort often reveals itself in the smallest moments. It's in the way they instinctively know when to sit beside you without saying a word, offering their presence as a steady anchor when you feel adrift. It's in the quiet glances exchanged where a look can convey more solace than any sentence ever could. There's a peace that comes from knowing someone understands you on a deeper level, even when you don't have the words to explain yourself. They pick up on your moods, your unspoken fears, and your moments of joy with an almost intuitive awareness. This kind of connection makes you feel seen in a way that is both comforting and rare. Unspoken comfort also shows itself in their actions. It's in the way they bring you a cup of tea when you're stressed or offer a hand to help without needing to be asked. These gestures, though small, carry immense weight because they come from a place of attentiveness and care that doesn't demand acknowledgement or reciprocity. Sometimes unspoken comfort is about creating a space where you feel free to be yourself. Whether you're laughing uncontrollably, venting your frustrations, or sitting in silence, their presence allows you to exist without judgment or pressure. This freedom to be vulnerable is one of the purest forms of emotional safety. There's a rhythm to unspoken comfort, a quiet harmony that develops over time. It's in the way they know when you need a distraction and when you need quiet, or the way they match their energy to yours without hesitation. This ability to adapt to your needs without disrupting your peace is a hallmark of their deep understanding. This comfort doesn't rely on grand gestures or dramatic declarations. Instead, it's woven into the fabric of everyday interactions. It's in the way they anticipate your needs, the way their presence makes even the hardest days feel a little lighter, and the way their silence speaks volumes of support and care. Unspoken comfort becomes a constant presence in your life, a quiet backdrop to every moment you share with them. It's the kind of connection that makes you feel stronger, braver, and more at ease simply because you know they're there, steady and unwavering in their support and understanding.